Let's start and talk about your future. You lost in the governor's primary. First of all, talk to me about what that's like. I mean, you put a lot into running. You came in second, a really good showing, better than a lot of people thought. But what's it like when it's over?
Well, Matt, let me tell you, I'm very proud of our campaign, first of all. Of course, I'm disappointed that we were not able to win. We built a great organization. We built tremendous energy. We had an unbelievable team that we had put together. And you're right. We put everything we had into that campaign. We gave it all we had. And it's kind of like an athletic event. You know, when I played at Morehead State and Elliott County High School, you know, you go out and you give it all you got and you leave it all on the court. And that's exactly what we did. And we still lost. But I can look in the mirror every morning and say, hey, we gave it everything we had. We ran a campaign that carried 69 counties in Kentucky, 3 congressional districts, 3 of the 6 congressional districts. And I'm proud of that campaign. But you know, I'm a competitor. I like to win. But I also understand how to take defeat and turn it into positive, and that's what I'm trying to do.
If you had done better, probably the place that hurt you the most was Louisville.
No question.
You only got about 10% of the
Yes.
vote there. Do you think your pro-life stance is ultimately what did you in there? And is that something that, can you still win being pro-life in the Democratic Party?
Well, I think so. I think it was more things than just pro-life. I do. I think that that's a very divisive issue, and you have folks on both sides of that issue. But I think at the end of the day, you had 2 competitors, Andy and Adam both, that spent a tremendous amount of money in Louisville. We did too, but they were kind of going at each other's. Adam, his commercials about Andy, and then his own commercials about uplifting him. But you had Bashir there as well with his commercials. I think that my name ID in Louisville, even though we started doing better with that as we got further into the campaign, I felt momentum picking up even in Jefferson County as it was across the state. So I think it wasn't one single issue. I think it was a combination of things that basically at the end of the day, in a populated area where I'm not from, I'm a rural Kentucky candidate. But I'm proud of the things I've done for Jefferson County over the years I've served in the Kentucky General Assembly.
Let's talk about the future. There's some chatter about you potentially maybe running in the U.S. Senate race against Mitch McConnell. There's a lot of talk that Amy McGrath might announce next week for that. Do you have interest in the U.S. Senate race, and would you consider a run against Mitch?
You leave all your options on the table. There's no question that you would consider opportunities that may come along. So I'm never going to close the door on anything. But to be very honest, I'm still resting up, spending time with my family, back in Frankfort, being the Democratic leader of the House. And I have people contacting me every day, say, Rocky, you need to look at that race. You need to look at that race. You're the person that can win that race. And, you know, I'm telling them that basically what I just told you. You know, you mentioned Amy McGrath. She's a great person. I know her very, very well.
Can Amy McGrath beat Mitch McConnell?
Well, I don't think there's any question. I think she's the kind of candidate that can raise money. I think she's the kind of candidate that can be in a race. You never know till you get in a race. To beat Mitch McConnell is a big lift. There's no question for anybody.
Think she can beat him?
I think that she has the ability to raise the kind of money it takes in a general election. Yes.
Would you consider running against her in a primary?
Well, I think a tough primary would be, I don't know that that would be a good thing for Democrats, to be very honest. My options remain open very much. I will tell you that I'm a friend of Amy McGrath. You know, I think she's a person that has a very bright future in the political arena. To have a tough battle in a primary, I just don't know that that's the best for Democrats in a primary.
If what we're hearing that Amy McGrath may announce next week is correct, are you suggesting that there should be no one that should challenge her?
I'm not going to suggest any of that, because I think that any time you do that, that you close the door on opportunities that may come along. You know, I think the primary that we had in the Democratic primary for governor was a good thing.
Probably helpful. I just got
no
like
question.
A minute, so let me ask you, what about the U.S. House? There's been some talk you might run for the seat that Hal Rogers has.
Well, I've been contacted on that as well. Hal and I have worked together for many years. He was the budget chair of transportation in Washington, D.C. for 6 years, while I was the budget chair here in Kentucky for transportation. So we worked together on a lot of different initiatives. I would look at that race, there's no question, much more seriously if he did retire from that seat.
I like Rocky, although he doesn't tell us anything. He's like, well, I might do it, I might not.